Alright, so here's our bowl that we rescued from a ruffling rim. We're going to trim it today. First thing I'm going to do, because this does not require a lot of trimming in general, is I'm going to smooth out the rim completely. Then I'm going to cut it off the bat, flip it over, and trim the bottom a little bit. First I'm going to get this bat a little damp because I'm going to try to stick it down. That is my preference, if I can get it to stick back down rather than having to use little wads of clay. It allows me a much nicer I can trim anywhere I want, where if you put the little wad of clay, you end up with you can't trim where the little wad of clay is, obviously. Alright, looks like it's gonna... So then I'm gonna trim off this little bit. A little extra bit there. Alright, now, it's not got a ton of weight in the bottom, but one of the things that I want to do, because this is something that a bowl shape that I really like, is a bowl with a foot. So even if I don't have a ton of clay to trim out a foot ring, I want to trim in right here so that it has a foot like this, and then it suddenly got dark, didn't it? Turn on a light here. And then I have a window that I'm used to. And then we're going to trim this rounded into that foot ring, or into that foot, so that it's just a shape that I really enjoy. I mean, I don't know, so that anything, I guess. I started saying something that really doesn't make sense. I like this, the bowl rounding out and then ending in a foot. That's just a shape that I like. So I often trim bowls that way. So I do think we're going to be able to trim in a little bit of a foot ring, but probably not much. And then I'm going to carve this. I think I'm going to do a real simple carving. There's a foot ring. We're going to cut that in. And then we're going to trim toward the middle, a little bit deeper on the edges and a little bit less in the middle. That's kind of where I want to go. I want the bottom of the bowl to mimic the inside of the bowl. So I'm gonna, trim more at the edges here, where there will be more to trim, and less in the middle, where there is less to trim. That's just kind of the way throwing, well, it's the way I throw. Some people put a pretty, do different things than that, but that is how I throw. I tend to, bowls in particular, I try to make the inside a rounded shape so that I can trim like this at the bottom. It's just kind of my preference. Now, All right, so there we got a bowl with the foot ring. See how it kind of goes down into the ring like this, sort of attempting to mimic the shape of the inside of the bowl. That one is going to get signed, and it's all finished other than a little bit of carving on the sides. So I'm going to sign it with Orla.